Monday night, 9:12 p.m. I finally get my apartment door open after the kind of day that feels like it stretched out for a century. Client calls, design changes no one asked for, meetings that should have been emails. All I want is a hot shower and maybe last night's Chinese leftovers. My keys slip out of my tired hand. Then the phone rings. It's Evelyn. Mom's voice is off tonight, flat, careful, like she's reading lines she's practiced. Your father and I have decided. Harper is moving back to Charleston. We need you out of the house by the weekend. That 4-bedroom house is hers now. My keys hit the floor, the sound echoing through the apartment. I grab the door frame, positive I've misunderstood. I'm sorry. What? You heard me. Margaret's voice gets that sharp edge, the one she always uses when I question her. Harper needs stability. She needs a place to start her family. You work remotely. You can live anywhere. I try to answer, but nothing comes out. 6 years. I saved that house. I fixed it up, room by room, every weekend, chunk of my paycheck after chunk of my paycheck. I lived there so I could help with bills and maintenance because they said they couldn't do it alone. My voice is small. The house I spent 6 years fixing? She sighs, annoyed. Harper is engaged, Lillian. She needs stability, a place to start her family. You're single. You work remotely. You can live anywhere. Don't be selfish. Don't be selfish. It hits like a slap. In the background, I hear Dad mumble something. He doesn't argue, just fades into the background. Thomas Hayes, who once taught me to change a tire, now just a faint voice in his own life. 72 hours, Mom says, all business. We'll arrange supervised removal of your things. Nothing belongs to you except your personal items and work equipment. Click. I just stand there, staring at my phone, her name on the screen. I keep thinking maybe if I look hard enough, it'll change, be someone else, someone who wouldn't wipe away 6 years of my life with a phone call on a Monday night. I remember walking into their kitchen at 22, diploma in hand, summa cum laude, ready to show them I'd made it. Margaret barely looked up from her crossword. Good. Now you can get a job and help with the bills. A week later, Harper, 18 and bulletproof, wrapped her Honda around a telephone pole after some party. I expected consequences, anger, maybe a lecture. Instead, Dad just sighed. She's so impulsive. We need to get her a safer car. Not a word about responsibility. Just a plan to buy her a better car, even though their finances were a wreck, while I handed over half my first real paycheck to help with bills. That's how it always went. I did the work. Harper got the sympathy. 6 years ago, they showed up crying about taxes and repairs. The roof leaked, the faucet barely worked, the heater belonged in a museum. We hate to ask, Dad said with real shame in his voice, but could you move back home? Just until we get back on our feet. Temporarily turned into forever. My savings vanished, $125,000 gone into renovations, kitchen, roof, plumbing, everything. I made that crumbling house solid again. Meanwhile, Harper was posting party pictures from Savannah, reviewing restaurants, taking weekend trips. Every time we asked her for help, she'd just laugh. Oh, Lily, you're so good at that stuff. I don't know anything about bills. Like being responsible was my weird hobby. My phone buzzes. Harper's name lights up before I can even figure out what to do next. Hey, Lily. Harper's voice practically fizzes out of the phone. Big news. I'm coming home. Can you clear out my old room by Thursday? I need space for my fiancé. Oh, and leave the big TV in the living room, okay? I love that one. The 75-inch TV I bought last Christmas. The one I spent 3 months saving up for weeks of reading reviews, hunting for deals, because every cent counted when you're footing the bill for your whole family. I feel the blood drain from my face. The room sways just a little. We'll talk when you get here, Harper. My voice comes out flat, too steady, like I'm channeling someone else. Perfect. See you Thursday. She hangs up. Doesn't even wait for an answer. I slide down the door frame until I'm sitting on the hardwood, keys scattered at my feet like a handful of dropped stars. 6 years. 6 years of putting everything on hold for this house for them. I turned down promotions because moving wasn't an option. Didn't let myself get serious about anyone family needed me. And now, just like that, I'm out. Tossed aside because Harper wants to play house. Without even thinking, my fingers pull up Clara's number. Clara Bennett, my best friend since college. The sharpest real estate lawyer you'll find in South Carolina. If anyone can untangle this mess, it's her. Lillian? What happened? Clara's voice slices through my panic. She always knows when something's really wrong. My parents just gave me 72 hours to move out. They're giving the house to Harper. Silence. Then, the house you've spent years restoring? All of it. 6 years, about $125,000 of my own money, and now they're handing it over like I was never here. Wait. Clara's voice shifts, professional now, all business. Your grandmother, Beatrice. How did your parents get the house? Was it a will? A trust? I have to admit, I don't know. Family money stuff was always grown-up business, too complicated for kids. Even after I started paying bills, nobody ever explained how things actually worked. I don't know, I say. Don't talk to them. Don't text Harper. Send me everything, insurance, utility bills, anything with that address. I'll hit the county records office first thing tomorrow. For the first time since this whole thing started, a tiny spark of hope lights up in my chest. Clara? Yeah? What if they're right? What if I'm just being selfish? She pauses, then her voice comes back, pure steel. Lillian. Selfish people don't give up 6 years of their lives for someone else's house. Send me the documents. We'll sort this out. Tuesday morning. Sun slices through my blinds, trying to make up for yesterday. I haven't slept. Been staring at the ceiling since 4, replaying Mom's voice, how cold she sounded, like she was canceling a dentist appointment, not erasing 6 years of my life. My coffee tastes like cardboard, but I drink it anyway as I spread every piece of paperwork I can find across the kitchen table. Insurance forms. Utility bills. Maintenance receipts. The folder gets thicker with every drawer I open, evidence of a life everyone's pretending I never had. Clara calls at 8:45 on the dot. Lillian, we've got a problem. Her voice is tight, the kind of tone she uses in court when things are going sideways. Your parents, as trustees, filed to seal parts of the trust right after Beatrice died. Citing privacy. They're hiding something. I'll need a judge's order to unseal it. Give me 24 hours. Sealed? Why would they seal anything? Because what's in there doesn't help their story. People don't hide good news, Lillian. They're covering something up. 2 days stretch out, every hour feeling stolen. I can't sit still. I pace my apartment back and forth, wearing a track into the wood. My laptop's open on the coffee table, a half-finished user interface design blinking back at me. Like any of it even matters now. How do you care about button layouts when your whole life's up for grabs? A memory sneaks in. Grandmother Beatrice, 3 years ago, Christmas. She was in her favorite chair. I brought her tea, and she grabbed my wrist, surprisingly strong for 87. That woman sees dollar signs, not family, she whispered, looking toward the kitchen where Mom complained about the cost of groceries. I brushed it off. Beatrice's comments about Margaret had gotten sharper with age. I thought it was just old age, making her cranky about her daughter-in-law. Now, her words hit different. I never realized how much Beatrice saw. She'd been watching Margaret for decades, noticing things I just couldn't. All these memories start pouring in. Beatrice teaching me to balance a checkbook at 12. A woman needs to understand money, sweetheart. She'd make me learn how to fix a leaky faucet, change the oil in a car. Independence isn't just about your own place, she'd say. It's about not needing anyone to take care of you. Did she always know this day was coming? Was she getting me ready for a fight I didn't even know was out there? Wednesday morning shows up like a sentence. I barely slept, running through every scenario in my head. Maybe the documents prove my parents told the truth. Maybe I really am just the selfish daughter who should step aside for Harper's happiness. But something cold and sharp has settled in my chest. If they're innocent, why lock everything down? Why hide behind privacy if the truth is so simple? My phone rings at 11:45. Clara's name flashes. I got it. Her voice shakes, not with fear, but with a kind of rage I've never heard before. Lillian, they've been lying to you for 6 years. The world tilts. I grip the counter, bracing for the worst. Beatrice didn't trust Margaret, Clara tells me. She put the house in a living trust. Thomas and Margaret were named trustees, sure, but the trust says that on your 30th birthday 2 years ago, you became the sole owner. No strings attached. I just stare, the words not landing. What? You own that house, Lillian. You've owned it for 2 years. They've been lying to your face while living in your home. My legs just give out. I slump to the kitchen floor, phone at my ear, the world shifting underneath me. But what about the debt? The $125,000 they needed help with? Clara's voice drops, cold and certain. That debt was a HELOC, a home equity line of credit. They took it out after your 30th birthday. Lillian, this is bank fraud. They borrowed against your house, which they didn't even control, and then made you pay it back. It hits me like a punch. My parents didn't just lie about who owned the house. They committed a crime. They made me pay for their fraud. Every payment I made on that debt, they stole that money from me. I'm not the ungrateful daughter, I whisper. You're the victim of systematic theft, Clara says, fierce. And we're going to fix this. You're the legal owner. Don't you move a single pillow. It's your house. Defend it. Something clicks inside me. The guilt that's been crushing me all day just vanishes. I see everything, clear as glass. I'm not selfish for wanting what's mine. I'm the mark in a long-running con. What do we do? I ask. I'm canceling my afternoon appointments. We're going to war. In less than an hour, Clara is in full general mode. She calls a locksmith 24-hour service, emergency key change. She pulls up legal documents, eviction notice, restraining order, bank fraud report, everything ready. Security consults lined up, just in case things get ugly. The locks are getting changed this afternoon while they're out, Clara tells me, spreading papers across her conference table. We'll hand them the eviction notice tomorrow, when Harper shows up. It's clean, it's legal, they can't argue. That afternoon, I drive to the house, hands shaking, but not from fear, adrenaline. The locksmith's van follows me, stocked with tools and new locks. From the street, the house looks the same. White siding I had pressure washed last spring. The porch I repainted, layer by layer. Gardens I've tended for years, pulling weeds, planting, nurturing everything they claimed as theirs. But walking inside, everything feels different now. This isn't their house that I've helped keep up. This is my house. They've been living here, looking me in the eye, lying the whole time. The kitchen where I installed new cabinets, granite counters, mine. The living room with the hardwood floors I refinished myself, night after night, hands raw, mine. The 75-inch TV Harper wants to take? I bought it. It's sitting in my house. Every single thing belongs to me. I only grab what matters. My laptop, legal files, photos of Beatrice. The expensive furniture, the TV, the appliances I bought? They stay right where they are, locked up tight inside my house. 3 hours have passed, and every lock in the house is new. Deadbolts, window locks, garage codes, the works. The locksmith drops a heavy ring of keys into my hand, heavier than I expected. All set, ma'am. Nobody's getting in without these. I nod, standing in my kitchen, the keys digging into my palm. 6 years of secrets and lies, finally, I feel them lifting off me. Tomorrow, Harper will show up, thinking she's about to collect her winnings. Instead, she'll find locked doors and a neat stack of legal papers waiting to spell out exactly who owns what. My phone buzzes. Clara again, documents filed. Tomorrow we take back what was always yours. For the first time in ages, I smile. A real one, no guilt twisting underneath. Thursday morning comes, and Harper's Instagram story pops up on my phone. There she is, airport selfie, beaming, designer luggage artfully arranged in the background. Charleston, new beginnings, home again. The hashtag sting. I screenshot everything before she can hit delete. Clara drilled it into me yesterday, document everything. Every lie, every performance, every smug little post. Build your case, piece by piece. At 12:18, my phone lights up like a fire alarm. Lillian. Harper's voice blasts through the speaker. What the hell? I can't get in. The key doesn't work. Did you change the locks? I close my eyes, count to 3. A day ago, This would have sent me into a tailspin of apologies and panic. Not now. The locks were changed for security reasons, I say. Calm. Firm. Security reasons? It's my house now. You can't lock me out of my own home. Her voice trembles with outrage. Her own home. The house she didn't pay a dime to maintain. The house she abandoned 6 years back, no goodbye. We'll talk about this when I get there, I tell her. I hang up. Voicemail pings right away. Margaret this time, voice shaking with rage. How dare you lock us out of our home? This is elder abuse, Lillian. You'll be arrested for this. You've lost your mind. Another message. Thomas, whispering guilt. Your mother's having chest pains because of this. Is this really what you want? Your grandmother would be ashamed. They always reach for grandmother's guilt when all else fails. But something's different now. Clara read those trust documents to me, and I see it clear as day. Grandmother Beatrice isn't ashamed. She protected me. She knew what was coming. I call Clara and put her on speaker as I check the evidence folder one last time. Police reports, trust documents, bank statements, screenshots, everything in order, everything labeled. Ready. You sound different, Clara says. Stronger. I grin. I feel different. Like I finally woke up after 6 years asleep. The police will meet us at the house in half an hour, just like we planned. Civil standby. They'll keep things calm while we hand over the eviction notice. For once, I'm not the one smoothing things over or begging for peace. I'm setting boundaries, and this time, they stick. The drive feels strange. My hands stay steady on the wheel. No tears, no last-minute guilt, no second-guessing what family means. Just a quiet determination and a folder full of truth my parents tried to bury. I turn onto Oak Street and spot them right away. All three, huddled on the lawn like they're locked out of their own lives. Thomas banging on the door. Margaret pacing, frantic. Harper, arms folded, luggage at her feet, her victory parade cut short. Mrs. Eleanor is across the street, phone out, probably recording. Good. Let her. I park. Clara's Mercedes pulls in behind me. Then 2 patrol cars roll up, lights off but presence unmistakable. Suddenly, it's all official. Officer Ramirez steps up. You the homeowner? I clear my throat. Yes. Lillian Hayes. They're trying to get inside without permission. Margaret spins around, face flushed. She's lying. We live here. She's having some kind of breakdown and changed the locks. Ma'am, please step back. Officer Ramirez stands between us, calm as ever. We'll sort this out. Clara appears, briefcase in hand, dressed for battle in her navy suit, hair pulled back tight. Clara Bennett doesn't mess around, you can see it a mile away. Mr. and Mrs. Hayes. Clara's voice cuts through the chaos. This is a formal eviction notice. You have 24 hours to arrange for supervised removal of your belongings. You're not allowed here anymore. Thomas's mouth opens and closes, his face flickering between confusion and panic. You can't do this. We're her parents. This is Lillian's house, Beatrice Hayes' living trust. You broke that trust when you took out a $125,000 home equity line of credit on a house you didn't even own. That number hangs in the air like a punch. Harper just goes pale, her polished confidence falling apart in front of everyone. A helic, she nearly shrieks, spinning on Thomas and Margaret. A trust? You told me the house was yours. You said Grandma left it to you. Harper, calm down, Margaret snaps, but her voice is thin and desperate. This is a misunderstanding. Harper shakes her head, voice cracking. No, it's not. You lied about everything. Mrs. Eleanor's phone stays trained on us, catching every second of this ugly scene. Margaret finally notices and charges over. Stop recording. This is a private family matter. Officer Thompson slides between them before she can get close. Ma'am, you need to stay on the sidewalk. It's all so clear now. Margaret is screaming, totally unglued. Thomas is just mumbling, shrinking into himself. Harper stands there watching the life she thought she had slip away. I stand next to my lawyer and the cops, every document in order, every word careful and deliberate. Eleanor's video will show exactly who lost it today, and it won't be me. Clara hands Thomas a manila envelope. Police report for attempted trespassing. Bank fraud report's been filed. Your lawyer can call my office to arrange picking up your stuff. This is insane, Margaret hisses, but she sounds small now. She's manipulating you. Lillian's always been unstable. Officer Ramirez checks his notes. Ma'am, the documents show this property belongs to Lillian Hayes. The people trying to get in have no legal standing. The words just drop, heavy and final. No legal standing. After 6 years of their emotional games and financial tricks, there it is, official. Harper just stares at her suitcases on the lawn, her engagement ring catching the sun. My fiancé's flying in tonight. What am I supposed to tell him? I say, tell him the truth. For once. The group breaks apart. Thomas loads Harper's bags into the trunk, moving like he's in a fog. Margaret glares at me, but she keeps her distance. Harper sits in the car, staring straight ahead, stunned. Mrs. Eleanor gives me a wave from her porch as they drive away. Honey, I got every second of that. Later, I sit in my apartment, surrounded by takeout and paperwork, and finally let myself feel the weight of it all. Not sadness for my parents. I lost that the moment Margaret gave her 72-hour ultimatum. I'm grieving for the 6 years they stole. For the woman I used to be, before I learned to question my own worth. For every chance I passed up because my family needed me. I open my journal and write, I was never the problem. I was the solution to theirs. Clara calls at 10 o'clock. She sounds almost giddy. Federal regulators are investigating the Hellick fraud. Criminal charges are possible. What do you want to do? We can go all the way or negotiate a deal and move on. It's your call. For the first time in 6 years, the decision is mine. No guilt. No pressure. Just options and the power to choose my own ending. At 11 p.m., the doorbell rings. Mrs. Eleanor stands in the hall with a plate of cookies, eyes shining. Honey, I thought you'd want to know I've posted that video everywhere. Facebook, neighborhood groups, next door. Your mother's been calling me for hours, begging me to take it down. Says it'll ruin them. She hands me the cookies and grins. Sometimes the truth needs a little help getting out. I watch her head back to her porch, her phone screen glowing as she keeps sharing that video. Let them squirm. Social media's doing what the courts never could, making them answer for what they did. Tomorrow, I'll decide if I want to press charges or just let them surrender. Tonight, I'll eat Mrs. Eleanor's cookies and watch their lies unravel. My future is already taking shape. All I have to do now is decide just how thoroughly I want to end this. Saturday morning hits, and suddenly my reputation is under attack from all sides. The calls start at 8 o'clock right as I'm settling in with my coffee and the weekend crossword. First up, Uncle Edward. He's got that mix of disappointment and authority in his voice that only the oldest Hayes brother can manage. Lillian, your mother called me last night. She's devastated. Says you've turned cruel, locked them out of their own home. What's gotten into you? I put my cup down real slow. Uncle Edward? Did Mom mention the $125,000 they borrowed against the house after it was legally mine? Or the 6 years I spent fixing it up with my own money? There's this long pause, so quiet, I almost hear his confidence drain away. She said there was some misunderstanding about paperwork. Bank fraud isn't a misunderstanding. Another stretch of silence. When he finally speaks, his voice is soft. I'm sorry, honey. I didn't know. And that's how it goes, 3 more times. Aunt Victoria from Greenville. Cousin Nathan from Columbia. Each call comes in swinging, but the second I bring up trust paperwork and the fraud, the fight drains out of them. By noon, I'm logging every call in a spreadsheet, who called, when, and exactly what my parents told them. Clara rings while I'm typing. How many family members have you heard from this morning? 5 so far. Mom's working through her whole phone book. Good. Keep track of everything. Every lie is more proof of their pattern. She shuffles some papers. I've been busy too. Thomas tried to file something at the courthouse yesterday, claimed he never gave up trustee authority. The clerk's office called me this morning, laughing. Laughing? Yeah. He brought in a handwritten letter, said he wanted to resume control of the trust. The clerk told him trusts aren't like library books. You can't just return them when you feel like it. For the first time all weekend, I actually smiled. What did he say to that? Apparently, he asked if there was a form he could fill out instead. Sunday, things shift. Margaret shows up at my apartment complex around lunch. She parks in visitor parking and just sits there, dabbing at her eyes with tissues, doing her best to look pitiful for the neighbors. She doesn't call or come to the door, just puts on a show. Mrs. Jenkins from 3B knocks on my door around 2. Honey, there's a woman in the parking lot who says she's your mother. She looks so upset. Are you two fighting? She's trying to guilt me, I say, keeping my voice even. She committed bank fraud and now she's dealing with the fallout. I'd appreciate it if you didn't get involved. Mrs. Jenkins's eyes go wide. Bank fraud? Oh my. The police know what's going on. If she keeps loitering, they'll ask her to leave. Within the hour, Margaret's car is gone. On Monday, Clara sends me a screenshot from Thomas's church directory Facebook page. Someone posted a prayer request for him. Thomas Hayes and his family are going through a difficult time with a family member who has turned against them. Please pray as they navigate this painful situation. Except, it's backfiring. Replies mention a video, Mrs. Eleanor's, apparently making rounds in all the local Facebook groups. Saw that video of them demanding entry to that young woman's house. Didn't look very Christian to me. If that's how they treat their own daughter, what does that say about their character? Praying for the daughter, she showed remarkable composure under attack. By Tuesday, I'm getting supportive calls from people I barely know. A former coworker's sister in Charleston saw the video. My cousin, the dental hygienist, lives 3 streets over and watched the whole scene unfold. Words spreading fast. And every version I hear, I'm the one people are rooting for, not the villain. Then Wednesday brings the most desperate stunt yet. My phone lights up with a number that matches the Charleston Police Department. Miss Hayes, this is Officer Daniels. We've received a report of possible elder abuse involving your parents. The caller claims you're financially exploiting them and keeping them from their home. My stomach drops for 3 seconds, just enough time for Clara's training to kick in. Officer Daniels, do you know about the Hellick fraud case with Thomas and Margaret Hayes from last week? There's a pause. Papers shuffle. Let me check my notes. Yeah. We have that file. And you're the victim in that case? That's right. My parents are apparently trying to file false reports now. He nods. We're closing this elder abuse report right away. Also, filing a false police report is a misdemeanor. I get it. Are you telling my parents that? Yes, we will. Thursday night, Harper calls for the first time since that smug conversation. She sounds off, her voice is thin, shaky, not her usual chipper self. Lily, we need to talk. I'm listening. Brad broke up with me. The words just drop, flat and tired. He said he can't marry into a family with all this drama and money trouble. He saw the video online. I don't say anything. Part of me wants to feel a little triumphant, but honestly, I'm just exhausted. Mom and Dad swore all of this would work out. Harper keeps going, her voice hitching. They said you'd never fight back. That you'd just take it, like always. They were wrong. I lost my job too. My boss said my personal drama going viral made the company look bad. Wait, what job? Marketing coordinator for that boutique hotel chain. They fired me Monday right after everything blew up. Harper's breathing is ragged now. I don't have anywhere to go, Lily. I gave up my Savannah apartment. I spent my savings on the ring upgrade and the wedding deposits. For 28 years, this would have been my cue to jump in and fix it all. Drop everything and clean up Harper's mess. That's what the old Lillian would do. But the new me? I see the pattern, even when it's mixed with real desperation. Harper, I'm sorry you're struggling. But these are the consequences of choices you and Mom and Dad made. I didn't do this. So you're just going to abandon me? I'm protecting myself from people who tried to steal my house. That includes you. She hangs up. No goodbye. Friday morning, I get a little surprise justice. Mrs. Eleanor calls, eager to read me a voicemail. Margaret left it on her home phone at 11 p.m. Thursday night. Please, Eleanor. You have to take down that video. It's destroying our family. People treat us like criminals. Thomas had to quit the church board. I can't go to the country club. Please, I'm begging you. What did you say? I ask. Mrs. Eleanor can't hide her satisfaction. I told her criminals usually get treated like criminals. Seemed fair. She called again after 3 more times. Each message more desperate. The last was just crying. Hanging up, it hits me, something's changed. For the first time as an adult, I'm not the one running around patching crises or smoothing over feelings. I'm not the one making frantic calls or inventing excuses. I'm sitting quietly in my apartment, drinking coffee, watching the careful lie my family built fall apart under its own weight. Every manipulative move they make just proves my point. They've turned their favorite weapons, guilt, reputation, community shame, against themselves. The same pressure they used to keep me in line is eating them alive. Justice. I'm learning it doesn't always show up with a bang. Sometimes it's just telling the truth and refusing to be swayed by lies. 3 weeks go by, like a chess game where I finally see the whole board. My parents keep scrambling to spin a new story. I get organized. I line up every document, every photo, every screenshot, dated and labeled, just like I do with UX projects. Wednesday morning, while I'm triple-checking bank statements, my phone rings. Dad's name. I let it go twice before picking up, enjoying this new power. Lillian. He sounds older, more worn down than I remember. I think we've all made mistakes here. Can't we work something out? Families should forgive each other. I hear Mom's urgent whisper in the background. Tell her about the medical bills. Dad, what medical bills? He pauses. Then he tries to sound vulnerable, practiced. Your mother's had chest pain since all this started. The stress is killing her, Lillian. We just want to come home. The old me would have folded in a second. Guilt would have flooded through me, freezing every rational thought until I agreed to anything just to make the pain stop. 3 weeks of knowing where I stand has changed me. The house isn't yours anymore, Dad. It's mine. It's been mine for 2 years. He goes quiet. Then Mom jumps in. She must have grabbed the phone from him. We hired a lawyer, Lillian. A good one. He says we have grounds to contest the trust. Undue influence. You manipulated your grandmother against us. My pulse doesn't even flicker. Clara warned me they'd try this. What's your lawyer's name? Stephen Caldwell. Caldwell and Partners. He does estate disputes. I jot it down, but I don't need to. Clara already dug up everything on every estate lawyer in the area. Has he reviewed the case? He's very confident, Mom says, her voice steadier now. Beatrice was 91 when she changed the trust. She was vulnerable. You lived with her for 6 months before she died, filling her head with lies about us. The accusation just hangs there. I did live with Grandma Beatrice for 6 months. She needed help after a fall. I took unpaid leave from my first design job, slept on her couch, drove her to physical therapy 3 times a week. That's it. So, what are you demanding exactly? Sale of the house, split the proceeds equally among the 3 children. It's only fair. 3 children. As if Grandma Beatrice had 3 grandchildren, not 2. But Mom always counted herself as Beatrice's child, even though they spent 30 years barely tolerating each other. I'll have my attorney contact Mr. Caldwell directly. Lillian, please. Dad again, probably yanking the phone back. We don't want to hurt you. We just want what's rightfully ours. I hang up. An hour later, Clara calls, actually laughing. Stephen Caldwell withdrew from their case, she says. He gave my office a courtesy call. After seeing the evidence package I sent over, he told your parents that suing would put them in real legal danger. What evidence package? The one I put together last week. Everything they could throw at you countered. Medical records prove your grandmother stayed mentally sharp right up to the end. The trust was created 4 years before you ever moved in. And your parents' Hellick fraud? That's a federal case waiting to happen. 6 years of bank records prove you paid for every improvement to that house. I drop into my chair, floored by how prepared Clara is. She saw every move coming. Caldwell spelled it out for them. Their best outcome would be criminal prosecution and a pile of legal bills. Worst case, federal prison and bankruptcy. So it's over? Not quite, Clara says. Now's your chance to make them an offer they can't refuse. 2 days later, we meet in Clara's conference room. The place is all dark wood and diplomas, intimidating by design. Mom and Dad show up 10 minutes late, looking smaller than I remember. Harper's not with them. Apparently, she went back to Savannah after her fiancé dumped her over the family drama. Thomas's hands shake as he sits. Margaret's makeup can't hide the circles under her eyes. They look like they've aged years in just 3 weeks. "Thank you for coming," Clara says, and slides a document across the table. Settlement agreement. Simple terms. Dad fumbles for his glasses. Mom scans the pages, her face tightening. "This is outrageous," Mom snaps. "You want us to pay you $125,000? Reimbursement for the Hellick fraud," I say, calm as I can be. "The money you borrowed against my house and forced me to repay. And this no-contact clause?" Dad asks, voice cracking. "Permanent estrangement from our daughter? That's the consequence of your choices," Clara says. "The alternative is criminal prosecution and a long, expensive court battle. We estimate your legal costs would top $200,000 if you avoid jail." I watch my parents realize they have no cards left to play. For once, they can't guilt, bully, or talk their way out of this. The law doesn't care about their tears or Thomas's little speeches about good intentions. "We need time to consider," Mom tries. "No," I say. "Sign today or Clara files criminal charges Monday morning." The FBI takes bank fraud seriously. Thomas signs first, his hand shaking so badly I can barely read his name. Mom holds out a little longer, probably running through any last trick she hasn't played yet. Some emotional angle, some plea. But Clara's folder sits open on the table, stuffed with bank statements, legal forms, all the proof we need. There lies, right there in black and white. Finally, Mom signs. "One more thing," I say as they're getting ready to leave. "The house goes on the market next month. It's a 60-day listing. Once it sells, you'll get a check for your share after we take out the $125,000 you owe me." "Our share?" Mom asks, her voice thin. $0, I tell her. "I wanted you to see what you really lost by trying to steal from me." They don't say another word. Just leave. Through the glass, I watch them shuffle to their car, like people who just aged a decade in 3 weeks. "How do you feel?" Clara asks. "Free," I say. For the first time in weeks, I actually smile. 2 days later, Mrs. Eleanor knocks at my apartment door, tablet in hand. "Honey, you need to see this." She pulls up her Facebook post, the one with the video of my parents' meltdown in front of the house. It's been shared 847 times, with comments rolling in. Most are from people sharing their own family money horror stories. "Your mother called again this morning," Mrs. Eleanor says, begging me to delete it. Says it's ruining their reputation at church. "What did you tell her?" I ask. "That the truth spreads on its own. And reputation isn't something you're owed. You have to earn it." That afternoon, I drive past my old church. The parking lot is almost empty, even though it's Sunday. Thomas's name has disappeared from the board out front. Their friends, their social circles, they're gone, just like that. The house listing goes live Monday morning. Clara's real estate contact says it'll sell fast. For bedrooms, a brand new kitchen, new roof, all new plumbing. 6 years of my work finally paying off. But honestly, the money doesn't matter much now. The house stands for something bigger. It's proof I'm not the ungrateful daughter they tried to make me out to be. I saved that place. I poured my time and money into it when nobody else would. I deserved better than betrayal dressed up as love. 3 weeks from now, when the sale closes, I'll write them a check for exactly $0.00. Not to be cruel, just math. They stole $125,000 from me. The house will sell for around $350,000 after costs. Subtract what they owe, and there's nothing left for them. Feels like justice, honestly, for people who gave me nothing but years of guilt and manipulation. I drive home with my windows down, coastal air pouring in. It smells like freedom. 6 months later, I'm at Clara's office, signing the last bit of paperwork. The house sold for $365,000. After all the fees, there's $340,000 sitting in my account. It's mine. Last week, I signed a lease on a new apartment, 2 bedrooms, hardwood floors, and a kitchen window that looks right out at the Atlantic Ocean. No family photos silently judging me from the mantel. No reminders of 6 years I wasted as their safety net. Just peace. "How's it feel?" Clara asks, watching me tuck the settlement papers into my purse. Quiet, I say. And it's true. My mind's finally quiet. Thursday night, I host my first dinner party since all this mess started. Clara brings wine and her big, contagious laugh. Eleanor shows up with a plate of her famous chocolate chip cookies. She's been making them for 40 years. She drops into a kitchen chair with a satisfied sigh. Told you, you were the only one in that family with a backbone. We eat Thai takeout from my favorite spot, the place I found in those first lonely weeks after leaving. Nobody talks about Margaret's mind games or Thomas's spinelessness. Nobody asks if I feel bad for putting myself first. For once, this table holds just laughter. Mrs. Eleanor scrolls through her phone, still reading comments from people who saw her video. You started something bigger than you know, she tells me. I didn't start anything, I say. I just stopped pretending what they did was okay. Later, after everyone leaves, I pour myself a glass of wine and open my journal. The leather cover feels smooth and new, no stains, no wild, desperate scribbles. I write, I spent 30 years confusing love with sacrifice. Real love knows where the lines are. Real family cheers you on instead of using your success for their own gain. These days, my words come out easy. No more second-guessing every thought, no more picking apart my own feelings, wondering if they're selfish or if I'm just being ungrateful. My phone buzzes. It's a text from someone at work. Coffee tomorrow? They want advice about some family stuff. Funny, I've become the person people call when they need permission to put themselves first. Clara sends me clients who are tangled up in family fraud, says my story gives them hope. People open up to me about their struggles with manipulative relatives. I listen. I share what I've learned, no judgment. Boundaries aren't brick walls. They're more like gates. You decide who and what gets through. My conversations with Dr. Ellis have shifted. We're not just managing crises now, we're talking about how to build real friendships, the kind rooted in respect, not obligation. We talk about spotting red flags early, about knowing the line between helping and enabling. Last week, she smiled and told me, "You've stopped apologizing for taking up space." That's a big deal. Friday mornings are sacred now. I start with coffee, then journal on the balcony. The ocean stands steady, ancient and unmoved, while all our messy human drama unfolds below. My phone lights up again, Mrs. Eleanor, inviting me to her holiday potluck. 6 months ago, saying no would have sent me spiraling with guilt. Now I just reply, thanks for the invite, but I'm making new traditions this year. Have a wonderful time. No guilt. No need for a long explanation. Just honest, kind words. The sunlight shifts across my coffee, catching the steam. I pick up my journal for one last entry. I used to think family was all about sacrifice. My grandmother saw it differently. She believed family means protection. It's about looking out for each other's dreams, dignity, and freedom. Some people you're related to by blood. Others you choose. Now, I choose my family. Charleston stretches out beneath me, the city crawling toward the ocean. So many people down there, each wrestling with their own questions about love and loyalty, learning when to choose themselves. My phone stays quiet. No emergency calls, no guilt trips, no one demanding I fix problems that aren't mine. Just quiet. Sunlight. And this deep, surprising contentment that comes from finally living life on my own terms. The ocean remains. It watches it all, our struggles, our learning, our moments of freedom when we finally figure out the difference between love and manipulation. I am free.